Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We're going to be exploring today what students find to be the most valuable piece of our Navigate To platform. And in particular, we're going to be looking at Delivering Healthcare in America, 6th edition by Shi and Singh. My name is Sophie Teague, and I'm the Senior Marketing Manager for Public Health and Health Administration here at Jones and Bartlett Learning. And in a moment, we're going to be hearing from Liam Butler, our Educational Technology Consultant for Public Health. Before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping items. First off, all of your lines have been muted, and if you could kindly keep them on mute, that would be great to help us minimize background noise and enable everyone to hear clearly. The formal part of the presentation is about 20 minutes, and following that, we'll have a Q&A session during which you'll get a chance to get your questions answered. If you have a question anytime during the course of the presentation, feel free to go ahead and type it in into the chat box located in the lower right-hand side of your WebEx screen. The entire session will be recorded, and following the webinar, we'll send around a follow-up email with a link to the recording. So you can watch the whole thing over again if you feel like you missed anything. And finally, if you think of any additional questions you'd like to ask me or our presenter, please don't hesitate to email me at any time following the session. I'll be providing everyone's contact information at the end of the presentation, including contact information for your account specialist. So, before we delve into the topic of today's session of what students value most in Navigate To, I thought it would be helpful to quickly run through what Navigate To is for those of you who are unfamiliar with it. Briefly, Navigate To is a collection of mobile-ready course materials that are preloaded with content from Jones and Bartlett Learning textbooks. So that includes a comprehensive interactive eBook, a virtual study center with practice activities and flashcards, a homework and assessment center with pre-populated quizzes and exams, and dashboards with learner and educator views that report actionable data. Every Jones and Bartlett Learning Navigate To package includes the printed text along with an access code card for the Navigate To materials. And these materials come with the text at no additional charge over and above the cost of the text alone. So as long as it's got the Navigate To logo at the bottom of the text, you can be sure that if you open it up, you're going to get that access code card for you and your students to get online and access these materials. So moving along into the topic of today's webinar, what do students value most in Navigate To? Well, we polled thousands of students through our pilot studies over the last couple of years, and overwhelmingly we found that students value the eBook more than anything else. So you can see here in this slide, we asked students which they preferred, the traditional printed text alone, an eBook alone, or the two side by side. And you can see here that the majority of students, 58%, said that they prefer the printed book side by side with the eBook. And in a moment, Liam is going to give you a demo of the eBook, and you'll see why that is. But the other thing I would point out, what I think is even more striking, is that only 11% of students wanted the printed text alone. So in other words, students would rather have an eBook alone versus the printed text alone, which really speaks to the value of that eBook. And by the way, Jones and Bartlett offers the digital Navigate To package alone for half the cost of the printed text. So if some of your students feel they don't need the printed text or that they want to save some money, they can come on our website, purchase just the digital package at half the price of the printed text. They get the full thing, including the entire eBook and all that same great content that I mentioned earlier, the assessments, practice activities, and everything else. So at this point, I am going to hand over controls to Liam Butler, who is our Educational Technology Consultant, and he is going to walk us through the eBook.
Thank you, Sophie. So yes, today I'm going to go and talk about the eBook and how it can bring value to you and your students. With the eBook, you do have the ability to view it on your computer and mobile devices. So through the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, you do have the ability to download the Navigate e-Reader app. Through the app, which is free, You can download the book to your device, so it would have to be an Apple device or an Android device, and through that you can take it offline, or you could read it online if you didn't want to download it to your device. And as you can see with the e-book, I like to call it more of an interactive e-book because it is more than just the straight textbook that we're providing you. So with the e-book, you can make notes and highlights and add them directly into the e-book. As you can see here, you can drag the page to get to the next page, or you can use the arrows, and that will let us go from page to page as well. So to add notes and highlights into the e-book, it is very easy to do. All you need to do is come over here on the right-hand side. This is where you can make your notes and annotations. To add a note, just click on Note, and you can add it right into the course. You also have the capability through the e-book to add a voice note into the e-book. Now with the voice note, this allows you to record up to 3 minutes of audio, which you can add into the e-book. And you can add as many voice notes as you want. Now with the voice notes and any other notes and highlights you make, there is going to be an update down the road in the near future that will allow you to share your notes with your students. So at this time, the notes you make will just be for yourself. But once we come out with this update, you will be able to share your notes with your students. And if you want to share it with particular students, you can do that. Or if you want to keep them just for yourself, you can do that as well. So that's where having these voice notes where you can add audio into the book, that can really personalize the textbook for your students. You also have the ability through here to add web links. So with the web link, this allows you to go in and you can link out to another website, and that will bring the students right to that website. You also have the ability to come in here through the chain link icon. You can add in a page reference. So if you want to refer to another page within the e-book, you can do that, and that will bring you right to that page. With the e-book, you do have the ability to go full screen. So if you want to get a better view, you can do that. You can also change the page layout as well. So what I like to do is go to a single page and then zoom in. That makes it a lot easier to read. Once you do that, all you have to do is scroll up and down to change the pages and to move to the bottom part of that page. You also have the ability to hide annotations. So if you didn't want to see any notes or highlights in the book, you can do that and just read the e-book just the same way as a textbook. And then finally down here, you do have the ability to draw on the page if you wanted to. And you can also make highlights on the page. And you have 5 different colors to choose from. And then down here we have an eraser. So if you want to delete any notes you've made, you can easily do that. Now, one important thing I did want to point out here with the e-book is the save feature. So down here, let me just zoom out for a moment. You want to click on the save feature right here. Now, when you save it, it'll save any notes or highlights you make. So if you don't save your work, it's not going to remember any notes or highlights you made if you close the e-book without saving it. Also, what it allows you to do is to sync it up with the app. So when you go to the app to read the e-book, you can have the notes and highlights you've made carry over into the app on a tablet or a phone. And then vice versa. When you go in the app, if you make any notes or highlights, once you save it, and then you come back on the computer, it will sync up, and all the notes and highlights will appear in the e-book. And then down here on the bottom, we have a couple more options for you. Table of content, so you can get access to any chapter or any section of the book right from here. We also have a glossary that's built right into the course. So you can get the full glossary and all the terms and definitions right here. And then you also have the ability to pull up glossary terms by clicking on the underlined words throughout the book. So anytime you see an underlined word, you can get that glossary term. And then under resources, this is where you're going to be able to see the notes and highlights you made, which will show up under My Stuff. So you can just click on the page and it'll bring you right to that page. Also, under media, this is where you can see the items that we've added into the book. So for delivering healthcare, we've added in knowledge checks, which are ungraded questions, and we've added in end of chapter quizzes into the ebook as well. And these are graded quizzes that will report directly into the gradebook. So for the knowledge check, just to show you an example, once you click on it, you get a knowledge check. Basically, these are just questions that summarize the section the students just read, so they can have an idea if they're understanding the concepts of what they're reading, or if they may want to go in and reread that section of the chapter again. They normally range from about, some have just one question if it's a shorter section, to like this one, which is a longer one, which has 6 questions. Students can go in, they can see what they got right and what they got wrong, and they can go through and review the questions as well. And then we also have the end of chapter quizzes. We have one for each chapter. And once you click on it, as instructor, you can preview it. When a student goes through and takes it, they just go through and answer all the questions. Once they're done, they can submit the test. Once they submit the test, it will report directly into the gradebook automatically. So you won't have to go through and grade every single question. You won't have to grade the multiple choice or the true and false questions that are added into the quiz. So that can save you a lot of time, you know, when you want to report that grade into the gradebook. A couple more things I want to show you is you do have the ability to print from the ebook, so you can print up to 2 pages at a time. And the last thing I want to show you is the ebook is fully indexed, so you can search a key term. And you can see everywhere where that word is used. And if you click on the page here, it'll bring you to that page and it'll highlight that word everywhere where it's used. Now, with the ebook quiz that we've built into the ebook, it is fully customizable. So you can come in here and you can edit that ebook quiz, along with any other quizzes that we have pre-populated for you. So I'm just going to show you quickly how you can edit the quiz, because it is very easy to do. So as you see here, we have each chapter broken out, and then we have each quiz that we've already pre-built for you. So we have the chapter quiz, the ebook quiz, and this is the ebook quiz that's built right into the ebook, and practice activities. So if we click on Edit here after choosing ebook quiz, from here you have the ability to go in and choose what items you want to be on the test. So these are the pre-populated questions. If you want to add more questions, just click Add Items. And you can come in here and add in questions right into the test. And you can choose any chapter you want. You also have the ability to go in and create your own questions. So if you want to add more questions to what we already have pre-built for you, you can add in your own questions. If you want to delete questions from the quiz, all you have to do is check off here the questions you want to delete, and then hit Delete Item, and that'll remove those questions from the quiz. You do have the ability to control what students see under Messages before they take the test. So this is instructions they'll see right before they start it, and what they see right after they finish taking the test. And then finally, under Preferences, you have the ability to come here and change some parameters with the test. So some of the more popular ones that get changed are answering all items. So the student has to answer every question before they can submit the test. And then set timer for. This way you can go in and choose how long you want the students to have to take the test. So it defaults to 2 hours for ebook quizzes, but you do have the ability to change that time frame. And then you can also add an additional ADA time. So if you want students who might be on an ADA plan, you can add an extra 20 minutes or however minutes you want, and you can add it right here. And then that'll give them an extra 20 minutes on top of what you assign everyone else to have. And then down here, if you want to allow multiple attempts, you can. It defaults to 2, but you can change it anywhere from 1 up to 99 attempts for that quiz. Once you're done making any settings, just come down and hit Finish. And then this is going to update that quiz. So now when you go and take the ebook quiz, it's going to have these settings and the questions you chose. And then the last thing I just want to show you today about the ebook is we do have an ebook report that is available too. And this will tell you, give you some information on different analytics concerning the eBook. So this is a demo course they have, so I only have a few students in it. But as you can see the most popular chapters, the least popular chapters based on views, best performing chapters, so you can see by average grade, worst performing chapters would show up here. You can see class engagement in terms of what chapters, so you can see how many resources are being viewed, how many hours are being spent in each chapter. You also have the ability to come down here and see who the best performers are in the class, and you can see the worst performers in the class. And then in addition to this eBook reports, we are working on coming out with more analytics that we can add into the classroom that will show you how your students are doing, not just within the eBook, but within the classroom as a whole online, so you can correlate how much time they're spending and how many resources they're viewing versus what they're receiving on their grade. So that's just a brief overview of the eBook and the different type of reports we have with it. So at this time, I'm going to pass it back over to Sophie.
Great, thank you, Liam. That was a great demo. So we're going to be opening up the lines for questions here in just a moment. And I would just remind you that if you want to ask a question, you can use the chat box feature on the right side of your screen to type in your question. If you don't see the chat box, if you simply hover over the top of your screen, there should be a little button that says chat, and you can click on that and type in your question. I'm going to open up the lines in just a moment if you prefer to voice your question out loud. But before we do that, I just want to quickly point out that we have 2 Navigate to Advantage resources currently available for this particular course, U.S. Healthcare Systems and Delivery. These happen to be 2 of our top-selling titles, Delivering Healthcare in America, which we just looked at, by Shi and Singh, that's the 6th edition, as well as Healthcare USA by Schultz and Young, that's the 8th edition. And these are both very recent titles that offer current and up-to-date coverage of the Affordable Care Act. One other thing I wanted to point out, the full course versus the open enrollment. So with Navigate to, there are 2 options. One uses the course ID, the other does not. The full course enrollment is really designed for you, the instructor, to interact with your students. You're able to assign homework and assessments. You can view grades, uncompleted assessments. Those grades feed directly into the grade book. You can view all sorts of reports and analytics on the eBook activity, for example, like what Liam just showed you. You can also communicate with your students. And even if you don't opt for the full course enrollment, your students still get with the book the open enrollment option. There's no course ID needed. They simply redeem their access code card on our website, and then they get access to that complete interactive eBook with all the knowledge checks, the quizzes, the study center, the practice activities, and all the ungraded assessments for further independent study. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone's lines. Just a moment, and I do see some questions coming through. Let's see, the first question, is there a way to add files or videos into the course? And Liam, that's going to be a question for you, so I'm going to go ahead and hand controls over to you so you can show us how to do that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you can definitely add files and video into the course. Let me just share my course again, and I can quickly show you how you can do that. One easy way you can add files and videos to your course is you can actually drag the files from your desktop, which I'm going to show you right now. You can drag the files to your desktop right over one of these placards, and it'll add that file directly into that placard for you. So you can do that with any placard. You also have the ability to come in here and click on File and add files through here if you didn't want to drag and drop, and kind of choose the classic method of adding files into the course. You can also add videos into the course through files, but one of the easiest ways, especially if you want to use YouTube, is to use this page feature here. If we open that up and click Add, and you can add these into any placard. We just have to give it a name. and a description. And then down here under page content, makes it very easy for you to add a video. So you just click on this Insert Moodle Media option, and then click Find or Upload a Sound, Video, or Applet. And once you're here, there's a special YouTube section that's already built in for you. So if you just search for a video, it's going to search YouTube in the same way you could search if you went directly to YouTube. And then you could just pick a video that you want. Once you find the video that you want, and I'm just going to pick a random one here, just click Select this file, click Insert, and then it's going to add it into the course. So what I just need to do is click Save. You can either save option will work, but if I click Save and Display, it's going to show me the video embedded. So when a student clicks on the link from the main page, they can watch the video directly in the course without having to go to YouTube and get distracted by comments or suggested videos. Were there any other questions?
Yeah, actually, Liam, we do have a couple more questions coming through on the chat box. A couple of questions about other titles availability, which I will get to in just a moment. But there's one great question here about compatibility with Blackboard. Specifically, is the gradebook feature compatible with Blackboard as an LMS? Liam, can you talk to us about that?
Yes, I can definitely talk about that. With Blackboard, Blackboard has what's called a partner cloud, and we are working with Blackboard to use that partner cloud. So if you use Blackboard and set up your class in Blackboard, you can use the partner cloud feature, and what they'll do is create a pass-through link. So you can add a link on Blackboard. When you click on it, when your students click on it, it'll pass them into Navigate 2. So they'll be able to access all the resources on Navigate 2 through that pass-through link using the partner cloud. And then any activities they do that are gradable, that report into the gradebook, it will report that overall grade automatically back into Blackboard. So students will do all the work in Navigate 2, but the grades will report to Blackboard.
So it'll look and feel like Navigate 2, but everything will go into Blackboard.
They start in Blackboard, and they won't have to log in to multiple places. It'll automatically do it for them.
Great, thank you. I have another question coming through here for you, Liam. Is it possible to grade papers directly through Navigate 2?
Yes, it is possible to grade papers, and you have a couple different ways you can do it, but the main option I would recommend is to go to Add an Activity and choose Assignment. And what the assignment allows you to do is to have your students upload a paper, or it could be any file. It could be a PowerPoint presentation if you want to do it that way. All you have to do is come in here, give it a name, give it a description, and then down here you have a couple more settings you can choose. So you can choose whether you want it to be due on a certain date. So you can choose when it opens up and when it closes. So if you want to just give them 1 week to upload that file for you to grade, you can do that. Or if you want, you can just keep it more opened and then just allow them to upload that at any time. You have a couple more settings here that you can choose from, but I normally keep these at the default setting. But if you want more information, you just click on the question mark. Once you come through here and save it, this is where your students will be able to go on the main page, and they'll be able to click on the link, and then they can, through the link on there, and they can upload their paper or their PowerPoint presentations. Once it gets uploaded, you can click View and Grade All Submissions, and this is where you would have the ability, if students had uploaded the document, you would be able to see it here. You could download it, and then this is where you can then go in and assign them a grade. And then you also have the ability to leave feedback here. So you can leave any comments on the paper, and then once you save it, this is going to report into the gradebook. So when a student goes in and views their gradebook, they'll see the grade they received, and then they'll also see the feedback comments that you left them.
Great, thank you, Liam. So a couple of questions we have about title availability and specifically asking about POSAR's legal and ethical issues and as well as McLaughlin's health policy text. And the answer is yes and no. We do have, and I'm going to share here, well, actually, what I'll do is I'll just explain what you can do. So yes, POSAR's Legal and Ethical Issues 4th edition is available as a Navigate 2 package. And we also have a forthcoming Legal Aspects of Healthcare Administration 12th edition, also by POSAR, that will be coming out in a Navigate package later this spring. The McLaughlin Health Policy Text, no, unfortunately, it's not currently available as a Navigate 2 package. What we're doing is moving forward as titles published. That's when we're releasing Navigate 2 packages for newer titles. And we're targeting quite a few of our titles. The easiest thing to do is to go on our website, jblearning.com, and in the search box, you can simply type the author's last name that you're looking for, and that'll bring up, if there is a Navigate 2 package, it'll bring up that information. Were there any other questions at this point? Looks like no other questions at this point. I'll give everyone maybe one more minute just in case. Okay, and while we're giving everyone a minute, I just want to mention, of course, there's a lot of us here to help you if you're interested in trying this out. If you need a review copy of any particular text, your account specialist is the person to contact.
Your line has been muted. To unmute your line, press *6 or #6, and you will hear a slight tone when unmuted.
Review copies online, and of course those review copies come packaged with an access code card. A course ID, as I mentioned before, is what you need to get up and running with the full course enrollment. And our account specialists are happy to provide you with a 2-week or 4-week trial access, course ID, so you can test it out and see how it works. We can set up a personalized demo for you once you get to that point. If you're very interested in trying it out for an upcoming semester, we can get you a personalized demo and really walk you through any questions you may have. And finally, I would point you to our website, jblnavigate.com/2. You can take a look at some video demos. They're each about 4 minutes long, but each of the 3 core areas of Navigate 2, the LMS dashboard, the assessments, and the eBook, you can take a look at those and get more information about how Navigate works. So I think looks like there's no further questions at this point. Let me just check the Q&A. No questions there either. So I will go ahead and wrap up the session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.